All right, good update there. We appreciate you. Right now, officials in St. John Parish are asking people to conserve water as much as they can. Something we're pretty much hearing all across the board.
Just
conserve
region-wide.
water.
Conserve your water is the headline, no matter where you are here in the area. But to the specifics here, the brass tacks, another boil water advisory about which to tell you. This one is in effect for parts of St. John Parish. So with that, we are joined now by Parish President Jacqueline Hotard over the phone. Ma'am, thank you so much for being here with us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
So we'll have it just start off with what is the advisory? There's a boil water advisory, also conservation. Where does it affect in the parish, and what do you want people to do?
Yes, we want our residents to conserve water as much as possible. You know, we no longer need to drip faucets right now. We are under a boil water advisory for Reserve, Garyville, Mount Airy, Edgard, Wallace, and Pleasure Bend because the water pressures, dip below, and so those areas are under boil water advisories, and we're again asking residents to conserve water as much as possible while the parish contends with all of the water leaks that we have throughout the parish.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Good advice or update there.
So as far as the timeline is concerned with the boil water advisory, I mean, we know, again, region-wide, we're dealing with that drop in pressure, and so as a result, the concern very much so does linger. Anybody tell you right now and what the timeline may be for all of this?
Well, you have to wait until your pressures get to a certain level before you can even test and send in those samples to be tested. And it's an advisory. Anytime any water system, a pressurized water system, which we all have, drops below a certain amount of pressure, you have the risk of having, a contaminant enter the water system. That's not ever been the case. However, we have to make sure that we advise residents to boil the water because of the potential of that anytime you lose pressure. As far as the timeline, until we get all of the leaks isolated and build up pressure in the system, we can't even take those samples to send them in to get from, under a boil water advisory. And that's just protocol, state protocol. So we're working, our utilities crews are working and have been working around the clock to isolate, leaks and address leaks as we see them. And, it's just one of these unfortunate things that happens in a blizzard is we get, the water leaks, of course, and then it just brings the consumption to a level that water systems really aren't designed to keep up with.
How about the rest of the parish? Boil water aside, what is everything else looking like? Anything residents need to know?
The roads are starting to clear up. Of course, we want everyone to still exercise caution if they do get on the roads. Businesses are starting to open up, but again, use caution when you're driving, especially for that black ice that everyone's talking about. It looks like water, but it's really ice. But we just want our residents to remain safe, remain patient, and also not run the water right now. We're above those freezing temps. It's not necessary. And don't do any unnecessary consumption right now, just to try and allow us to rebuild those pressures up. And that helps everybody, right? If we don't use that, have that unnecessary consumption, then it just allows the pressure to build parish-wide.
And I know that we're out of time, ma'am, but I want to ask you real quick, just as far as the clearing of the roads are concerned, I know you touched on that the progress is being made. Who is doing that? I know both Orleans and Jefferson parishes, they brought in people who had the equipment. What do y'all have to do there in St. John?
We've got, DOTD is here on our state highways, and then we have our public works crews out there, sanding some roadways. Obviously, this is not something that we typically deal with, but we do have public works crews out there doing what they can to try and clear roadways as best as they can.
All right, Jacqueline Hotard, we appreciate the update for sure. Please be safe out there.
You all too. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.